All right, everyone. We are back here at Power Up with Pride 2023. I promised y'all some Mega Man. We're going to be having Mega Man 6 run by Mad Mega. But before we get into it, we received an incredibly generous $250 donation from LZ Moto. So thank you so much. There was no comment on it, but we appreciate your amazing generosity for the event and for the Trevor Project. That went to that Super Mario Odyssey Darker Side incentive. We are now $40 away from getting that all wrapped up. And chat, I know y'all can get us there, but thank you so much. That was incredibly kind and generous of you. But Mad Mega, are you ready to show us some Mega Man 6?
Absolutely. Let's do a quick reset here, and then I'll count in real fast, and we can get going then. How's that sound?
Sounds fabulous to me.
All right. Let's mash through these opening cutscenes. We don't need to see them, and we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So, I'm madmegax381. Mega's fine, or Mad Mega, whatever. I'm not too particular about it, but this is Mega Man 6. This is one of my favorite video games. I think it's super cool. It does some really interesting things that we'll talk about throughout the game, but to start here, where we go to Windman stage, Windman is kind of an easy boss and an easy stage, so we start there. But since it's kind of an easy boss and an easy stage, I should probably talk about some of the weird things about Mega Man 6. So if you watch as I play this, you're gonna see that a lot of times if I'm sliding, I'll suddenly turn the other way before I might jump or something. That's because you can't jump out of your slides in this game. So you either need to finish the slide, or you need to cancel it, either by hitting A, which should jump, but just stops your slide, or you turn back the other way to cancel it. So it's a little bit more movement intensive than or input intensive than some of the other Mega Man games, but that's okay because the music is great and it still controls pretty well. And you have all of the same kind of bonus features that have started since Mega Man 3. Is I do have a slide and I can charge my Mega Buster here. So we're actually getting very close to the end of this first stage, which is nice. And we'll get to our first boss. So things happen pretty quick, which is nice. We're moving our way along into our first boss corridor. These will be in before every boss, just about. Nice little delineation between stage and boss. So the idea behind this boss is that I'm going to try to hit with as many charge shots as I can. Mega charges a little bit faster when he's sliding, so I'm going to be kind of doing this little dance here with my slides, while Windman pulls with his fans, pulls me in towards him. So nice and easy, pretty quick, and that's the first stage down, and we'll collect his power up. So it's a nice first stage, nice and relatively clean. And now, this is the place, I think, where the Mega Man games, as they got a little later, got really cool, is some of these graphics in between stages where they show these cool cutscenes of you getting the new weapon and everything. They look pretty fancy to me for on an NES. You know, this was released very late in the NES's life, in fact. This was not published by Capcom, even. Capcom was focused on publishing games on the SNES at the time, and in America there was a limit on how many games could be published by any non-Nintendo entity. So Nintendo actually published this game themselves in the United States. So fun little side fact about the last of the NES Mega Man games.
Yeah, in chat we were just talking about how much we are just loving the sprite work, and I was definitely commenting on how nice the background work is.
Oh, there are a handful of some of my favorite. Oh, we got to be careful here. All right, okay. So what I was hoping to do there was not let that this little dropper here drop flame into the oil. This is Flame Man stage, and there's oil on the floor, and if you mix flame and oil, bad things happen. So that oil becomes a one-hit kill. It's just an instant death if you fall into it once it's fired. So we're gonna try not to do that.
Just a little fire. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's no big deal. Unfortunately, one of the many things that happens in this game is that it will kind of eat inputs at times, and one of the times it will do that is the transitional frame from the oil to the flame. It will not accept inputs for Mega Man, so it is very common to fall or try to jump and actually just walk off into a flaming pit. So at least that didn't happen. So this is Flame Man. We fight Wind Man mostly so that we can get to Flame Man and fight him with his weakness here, which is this little tornado that we throw out. And the reason why it's really advantageous is that those walls of flame that he shoots at you will block any other weapon. The tornadoes go right through it, so it makes his boss fight trivial, and he gives us far and away the best weapon in the game, which is his flame. Little flame shot here, the flame blast. He also gives us the rush power adapter, which we won't see for quite a while yet, but we have picked it up. And so that's this little power. This weapon kind of breaks open the whole game. So we just got a flame weapon, and I like the idea of going to the Blizzard Man stage. I feel like this makes a lot of logical sense. Let's see, we have a flame weapon. Let's go deal with the guy who looks like a snowman. I think that's always, as a kid, one of the reasons. Oh, okay. Ice physics, we're gonna call that.
I've been telling people this whole event, you always have to check if there are ice physics. Just assume there are ice physics unless you're, sure otherwise.
So ice physics in this game work kind of weird, and unfortunately, this isn't entirely on them. This is it actually feels like I'm just not letting go of an input in time there, which is strange. But so long story short here is that when you're sliding, because you have to cancel, the ice physics are very, very strange in this game, in that you'll maintain some momentum depending upon when you exit your slide and how. So it can be complicated. So that just didn't go very well for me there briefly. But luckily, one of the nicest things about Mega Man 6 of the early NES games is that it's relatively gentle when you die in terms of how long it takes to respawn and things. It's not nearly as long as some of the earlier Mega Man titles. So this is the sub. We're going to try to get through here on one cycle. We might have been able to make it, but given that I'd already died twice, I think it would set us to a game over, and we really don't want to do that. So we're going to try to get out of this stage before we die. Here's an octopus. We're going to take a D-boost through that, just because hitting that block of ice does a way less damage than hitting the squid that's shooting the ice at us. So skip some bombs.
Wait, is it an octopus or is it a squid? Is it both?
Some sort of tentacled ice-spitting monster.
Yes, we were trying to figure out if our waterfowl friend before was a duck or a goose, and we're like, it's whatever. It's whatever you want it to be in your heart. Same thing with the octopus squid.
Exactly. Some sort of octagonal squid, maybe. Maybe it's the shape. I don't know. But this is Blizzard Man. He rolls at us. We hope he doesn't, but he did a handful of times. But falls relatively easily. And that's our first 3 Robot Masters down. A little rough there on the ice at the beginning of the stage. So we'll see what happens in the next stage. It's a little dangerous now, but that's half the fun. So I was saying how, as a kid, I liked this game because I thought it had a little bit of logic, where, like, I got the flame weapon, so now I'm going to deal with the Blizzard guy. That makes sense. So now I have the Blizzard weapon. I'm going to take care of the plant person. That is, I appreciate that. I think that's kind of nice. A little bit of logic for everybody, So it's like, yeah, cold weather is usually not good for a flower, It makes sense. And that's not good. But now we're really going to get to see the power of the Flame Blast, because we're going to switch over to it very early. And basically, we're going to use this Oh, well, didn't Eddie Flip Top didn't give us anything useful. I was hoping for a 1-upper, maybe some health. That gorilla there takes, I want to say 18 shots of the regular buster, but the flame weapon actually does 3 damage with every shot, so it is very overpowered comparatively. So we use it all over the place now that we've picked it up early on. So, all right, we're coming up on one of the scariest rooms in the game here. This is these are plant forms. These platforms that you see up there on the way that these works is you're supposed to shoot them open, and we're going to do that because unfortunately, I didn't realize I had a 1-up, but the reason for that is that there's a handful of frames where you can just jump on them and it doesn't give you any trouble. Like you have a handful of frames to jump on them, but if you miss those handful of frames, you're just going to die and fall into the pit. And unfortunately, since we had some deaths already, I don't want to run unnecessary risk. And we're already taking some extra damage here. Hopefully we can show off a cool trick on this boss. This is one of the cooler manipulations that we can do on a boss here. So depending upon which way Plant Man jumps, it's easier to trigger or not. So, all right, perfect. So Plant Man jumped to the right. We're going to slide and initiate our attack. Now, Plant Man doesn't know where I am because I was standing directly in his hitbox, and his AI is set such that he is always going to chase us. So because he doesn't know where to go, he just does a lap around the building. So we use that to our advantage to get extra shots in on the cycle and take care of the stage without too much negative event.
To be fair, I would also get very confused if someone was inside my hitbox.
Yeah, it's really funny because there are multiple places where you can set it up, and he just will run back and forth, and it looks so funny against his like normal pattern, which is just really like it's so neat that that's kind of a weird thing that you can do with the enemy AI. That it's like, wait, you're not supposed to be here, and very, very. I find it very, very kind of funny as a neat little trick that we use. And there we go, switching back to Flame Blast. These enemies with the little pistols there, those are called Coltons. That's one of my favorite names in all of Mega Man is the little pistol-wielding fellows in big 10-gallon hats are named Coltons. It's like, perfect, you nailed it. You got the assignment. So we're talking about like really pretty NES backgrounds and things, and one of the reasons why I do love this game is that I do think it has some fantastic ones. This one especially, it's one of my all-time favorite backgrounds in any game, the Shimmering Sun.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's so cool, and that room's just like really well set up to view it the whole time too. So it's definitely on the list of favorite backgrounds in any NES game, honestly. So we're gonna see a little bit of a path divergence here. We're not gonna take advantage of that at the moment. We will at a later stage to save us some time, but right now we're actually going to avoid those little side exits there. They're a little bit slower than going the standard route, so we're gonna stick to the original developer intended non 100% route. So this is Tomahawk Man, and this is where the logic breaks down because I don't know why a person who is a robot who is the master of the tomahawk is weak to some flowers, but that's okay. We're
but
just
allergies.
using it. You know what? That must be it. We're just gonna kind of tank a handful of hits to try to use our shield as quickly as we can. That is one of the more dangerous fights casually, because you'll see I don't have any weapon energy left, and that's because it has perfect weapon ammo to beat the boss. So if you don't respect the iframes, that fight can get a whole heck of a lot worse. Now we'll make our way to Yamato Man. So the whole idea behind, like, the big story, the lore of Mega Man 6 is there's this robot tournament, and after some level of competition, 8 very powerful robots are found, and they represent 8 different countries and parts of the world. And those robots are all taken over by the evil Mr. X, who has been behind everything all along. Not Dr. Wily like we'd been led to believe. It was actually Mr. X this whole time. So now we're finally dealing with the true big bad of the Mega Man franchise in this game. But he took over these 8, masterful combat robots and used those to try to take over the world. But as Mega Man is wont to do, he's like, yeah, we're not gonna let that happen. So now we see the first use of Jet. This is pretty cool. Instead of getting normal Rush in like a Rush Coil or a Rush Marine or whatever, in this game we get these adapters that let us have a little bit of Jet energy that regenerates as we go. So it kind of changes up the platforming dramatically, which is kind of fun. That we get to use. There's a power suit we'll see just for a few minutes and a little bit later as well. But now on to Yamato Man. He's weak to the Tomahawk weapon. It's actually called the Silver Tomahawk. I assume it is so called that because it's bronze. Or at least it looks bronze to me. But what do I know?
I'm with you. Also, I really like the Tanuki robots. They're so good.
There's so much of the enemy design is like intended to be specific to each robot master in this game in a lot of ways. Like the pandas are on Windman stage, which is intended to be more of an eastern region. So like it's just really interesting to me, like some of the designs of everything overall. And here we have Nightman. He was in a castle, which I guess makes sense, right? If you're a knight, your location, you're probably going to be in a giant fortress if you're hanging out. This section's actually a little scary, so I'm going to try to get through it. I'll probably talk through it. It doesn't bother me, but this is scary. So 1 second, we got to try to move very smoothly through here, not jump and hit our head on the spikes because that would kill us. And now, okay, good. We're through there. Now it's far less scary.
Yeah, that looked really scary.
But we switched to Jet here again very briefly. I didn't quite hit that. I was hoping to stand on the very edge and shoot that turret, but not a huge time loss there. But we use this to kind of very quickly skip these 2 rooms, basically, is the purpose of that switch to Jet there. And then we're back to our most previously defeated Robot Master's weapon, the Yamato Spear. One of the more annoying weapons in the game, I would argue. You can kind of tell when you see it shoot across the screen that it travels upwards or downwards. It alternates. So you can very easily miss something at the far end of a screen because it traveled up instead of down when you weren't expecting it. You can see how those 2 diverged from where I shot them, like... to kind of get an idea for how those work. That'll come into play in a later stage, specifically a later boss that makes it a lot more difficult to beat. Because the weapon is kind of almost purpose-built to not hit that enemy's hitbox. But this is Nightman, and one of the nice things about having the Yamato Spear weapon against Nightman is you'll see he has this shield to go with his mace ball. And most every weapon in the game will deflect off of his shield if he has it up. But he didn't use it for one, so it wouldn't have been a big deal. But under normal circumstances, you can't hit him with a normal shot unless he's thrown his mace ball and is waiting for it to come back, or you manage to sneak a shot in underneath it, like when he's jumping. But didn't have to deal with any of that. He just made it very easy for us, so we continue on. We get the Night Crusher, which is just a mace ball that's actually really, really useful. There are theoretically 3 viable routes for this game, and Nightman first is one of them. The others are Windman first, which are most common, and then Flame first. going to try to make that jump, and we didn't. That's okay. We're going to try it again because I'm pretty sure I'm almost out of lives, and if I die here, that's not going to be the end of the world because, yep, it's right at the beginning of the stage anyways. That's okay. It's a little unfortunate, but we're trying to be fast. There we go. That jump is really, really tight, and it doesn't look like it should be super scary, but for some reason, if your positioning is just a littlest bit off, it will force you to do a full height jump, which will kill you. No rhyme or reason. You can press A for 1 frame, and it'll just be like, no, you pressed it for more than that. So you're going to jump into this thing that's going to then, damage you and knock you into the pit, because Mega Man. Here's your classic underwater stage. This is Centaur Man's stage, which, if Centaur Man if a centaur is half man, half and half horse,
right?
What is a centaur man? Like, it feels like it's like a man bear pig sort of.
I was more thinking like the fact that it's water themed. I'm like, are we sure this is not hippocampus man?
Yeah, it's like wait a minute. Underwater, the horse, the half horse, half person. I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess horses can swim, but I don't know.
Well, there's the hippocampus. That's like the other sort of like mythical creature that is half horse, half fish.
Right. That would make more sense to me.
Yeah, make much more sense. Also, all right. So I have friends and family members who very much love Mega Man 2, but I always kind of like tease them about like the waterfalls in that game, and I'm glad that the waterfalls in this game are so much nicer.
Not only are they nicer, they don't absolutely murder your bitrate when you're playing the game. Mega Man 2, the common joke is that when you play against Bubble Man, the stage, your stream will just become a pixelated mess.
Oh yes,
It's so terrible. But here, at least, the picture can kind of stand. Centaur Man teleports and can stop time. I was a little late on my shot to prevent them from doing that, but that's our 8 robot masters down. So the typical first half of the game, I guess you could say, for a Mega Man title has we finished. We've gotten our 8 robots out of the way. And now we get to go to some castles, which is pretty neat.
Always a good time. Also,
Yes.
Welcome in Raiders.
Oh, Raiders.
Power Up with Pride 2023. Mega, you are currently taking us through Mega Man 6 at a nice pace.
Nice comfy run, really. Had a handful of snafus, but nothing too bad. This is another awesome background, I think, from this era. The cityscape in the background, I think, looks really cool.
Oh, it's really cool.
And then there's a lot of stars and things like that in this, which I appreciate. It's really an impressive thing to look back at the sort of history of Mega Man's, some of the earlier games, the backgrounds and what they look like. They were largely like empty or solid colors, and then you get to this, and there's, little planets and all sorts of things. It's pretty neat. So this is the first use of the POW suit, and I absolutely messed it up, so that's okay. We're gonna try again. So what we do here is we charge our suit up, and we can break that window, and this will save us a fair bit of time, assuming that these grasshoppers don't chase me down too well, because they will just add a ton of lag. Holy smokes. But we have to break one more block here. And we're going to switch over back to Flame, as it's the best weapon. We use it for everything. And this is one of the fastest bosses in all of Mega Man, if I remember correctly. This boss does not have any iframes. No invincibility between when we shoot it. So we can kind of just put a handful of flame shots on the wall, and then boom. Blink and you miss it. And now we're on our second Mr. X castle, which again, he's apparently the big bad of this game. You know, not Dr. Wily anymore. It's this new fellow, Mr. X.
I mean, this is a really cool castle. You gotta admit, like, whoever this Mr. X is, they definitely got some style.
Well, and they definitely have the theme, you know, like they know. It's like this is Mr. X's castle. There's gonna be a big X up there.
Okay.
All right.
Now, are they or are they not part of the Organization 13?
that I do not know. Though that is.
That would be the true Kingdom Hearts long game.
So we switch over to our silver tomahawk. I guess I'm bad with colors apparently, and we're going to continue to make our way through here. A lot of skull enemies, which was usually a Dr. Wily calling card, but I don't know. That doesn't seem right, but I'm not gonna worry about it.
They got picked up on discount.
Exactly. He's
Dr.
given up his evil ways.
Yeah, just having a blowout sale. Evil blow. Okay, that sounds like such a good thing. Like just like a villain having like an evil blowout sale and selling off all their old tech.
Yeah, it feels like a Venture Brothers episode for sure.
Yes.
Now this is the wall climber. This is one of the more annoying bosses in all of Mega Man, in my opinion. Hello, there we go. We can somewhat control the way that the tomahawks angle up or down, so we try to use that to our advantage. But a little sloppy, but not so bad. I think that it's going to give us any trouble. Now this stage, we're going to be in the jet form a lot, so it's not quite as much speed in the sliding sense in this game, but a lot of movement that's a little tighter because you're trying to walk as much as possible. You move slower when you are jetting than if you're walking on land. So we actually, even though we can fly, we're trying not to. You know, we're kind of like Clark Kent at the moment. We're not trying to fly if we don't have to. That's a Superman thing. Oh dear, get there. Unfortunately, I got a little bit of. It felt like it just lagged for a very brief moment there, and so you kind of feather your jet to maximize your distance, and I did not do a very good job of that. So that's okay. But yeah, see, that's how it's. So that's a fun thing. That's actually a unique little place where that could happen. That isn't awful. It looked like I landed on the ledge there, and I fell into the tiny little side pit there. I did land on that ledge. This game will punt you off of ledges sometimes. It does not. It will just decide that even though you landed on the ledge and Mega Man Sprite is in the appropriate location, your subpixel is apparently just a little bit off, and it'll just kick you right off the ledge and you'll die. So I'm glad that it happened in a way that I got to show it off and it didn't kill me. And we try to go under those roll-ons. As I said, we have to flutter the jet to try to maximize both how long it lasts and to kind of maximize how fast we move while using it. So here we're going to switch over to the POW suit for this fight. This is Matonger Z. It's just a very common Mega Man enemy, and they just put him in a mech. So we're going to charge up our POW shot here and hopefully survive. All right. Well, now we're at the last stage of the Mr. X castle. Well, that's good, you know, because again, he's the big bad of this game. You know, no more Dr. Wily. You know, so I guess I guess it's getting close to the end. Maybe, I don't know.
Sounds like
short. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Okay, there's no problems with short games. We appreciate games of all lengths.
So we switch there. We do a little bit of we quickly avoid some ladder climbing by having the jet available to us, and then we're going to be using some of this night ball for most of the rest of this stage here because it's very, very useful in terms of being able to shoot in different directions is I get hit by everything on that stage. That's okay. It might change how we fight the boss of this stage, but probably gonna fight it different. Unless we get a lucky health drop. This is a very scary room. We have our Coltons again, and we are going to hit them with some very well-aimed Night Mace shots and slide through. And now we're on the final approach corridor to Mr. X, so that's pretty cool. So we're gonna try to kill these things basically as they spawn so that they don't hurt us. Save us a little bit of damage. Whew, I missed there. Very lucky to be alive. Let's see. Oh, we have tons of lives, so we're gonna try to do this with Flame Blast because it's very fast and it looks super cool.
Well, that's always fun.
And we missed.
Marathon. Oh no.
That's okay. So we'll do the other cool thing. Since we missed and there's no real sense in continuing with that, we're gonna switch over to the POW suit because now we can just kind of juggle them. Just how about you hang over there? And that's Mr. X there. So then, well, fail D. Wait, Dr. Wily. What is? But I thought, it wasn't even a good. It wasn't even a good disguise. That's why Wow. I didn't know. I never see it coming. It gets me every time.
I mean, honestly, I thought it was gonna be Dr. Wily's boyfriend.
So now we're at the real big bad. It is as always the nefarious Dr. Wily. And so now we have another castle to get through with some pretty cool architecture where they understood the assignment. There's a lot of skulls everywhere. They know what they're doing. So we switched over to Jet, and we're gonna use this to take a little shortcut here. Gonna actually start jetting before the screen transition. And if you know, you know. And you can sneak through right here and save yourself some really unpleasant jetting and jumping around that is just really dangerous platforming. It's not very fun, so we skip it because speedrun. And we're gonna just boost through almost all of this because it almost gets completely returned to you with the health that's there. There's our octo squid friend again. We're gonna just ignore them, pretend they aren't there. And so now this is Mechasaurus, and what we have to do is we have to jump on platforms and shoot them with the tomahawk. Well, unfortunately, the hitbox in the head of this dinosaur-looking fellow is only about, I think, 4 pixels wide, and the tomahawk travels at 4 pixels per frame, so it can actually miss. So you have to be in the right place to hit it. It's very common to fire shots into that enemy and it to just not take damage, not react at all. And that makes me sad. So luckily we had a pretty decent fight. Some more ice physics, because of course, what game is complete without additional ice physics, really? But luckily, we already have Flame Blast, so we can gotta skip some things here. We're gonna use Flame to burn through that ice wall, and now we have again cut off a significant amount of the stage that we now don't have to play because, shortcuts are awesome. We're going to use those, and we're going to switch to this boss's weakness that's coming up. This is a really scary section, but we finally get to see what wind does to regular enemies, and it just carries them off the screen. Really funny, just whoop, there you go. Bye. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that to the boss, so that would be very funny. It does do it to the cannonballs that the boss shoots. And that's the little tank that's now out of our way. Alright. Right, and we are rapidly approaching the end of Mega Man 6. We now get to do some refights, which are one of my favorite parts of the Mega Man games. You always have, you've learned everything, and now you get to try, your hand at, basically besting them all together, all at the same time. Prove your mettle. Or you are metal, I guess.
Yeah, about to say, like, Mega Man is a robot. I'm pretty sure he is. Is he? Now I have questions.
We messed up that jump a little bit. We try to use those fans that spin to give us a little extra speed boost. Didn't quite work out, but not a significant time loss. There's already been plenty of things that have gone a little poorly this run, but. Now we're at our final 8, and one of the nicest things about Mega Man 6 is that you don't really have to remember the boss order. You just start in the top right and you go around. Nice and easy. So here's our Blizzard Man fight again. He's given us the rolls. He's a very overexcited waiter at a fine Italian restaurant. Just will not leave us alone. Keeps giving us rolls. But we're past it. We get Flame Man again. In fact, a lot of these we kind of fight almost in order, but we switch back to wins. A little out of sorts there. But again, the biggest advantage is those flame walls are ignored by the wind tornado attack. So makes fighting Flame Man a lot more trivial, which is nice. As we go into our refight against Tomahawk Man, unfortunately we take a hit at the beginning. There's one opening attack that you can actually slide under and doesn't do damage, and I did not respect the iframes, so we're gonna have to do this the other way. But could be worse. Again, there's exact ammo there. I did not wait long enough before I re-enabled the shield. Dropped the shield into an enemy's invincibility. So we have that again here with Wind Man. This is a full screen attack by this is Centaur Man's attack. It just stops everything basically. So we don't even have to aim at Wind Man. We can just hit it. That's really the only use of that weapon in the entire game. Is we use it for defeating Wind Man in the refights. So here's our second time against Centaur Man. Half centaur, half man robot.
Yeah, about to say he's not. Yeah, he's just a robot centaur.
Yeah, half Centaur Man, half Robot Man or something.
Right? Is he called Centaur Man in Japanese too?
I believe so. Yes, I think most of the names are relative. At least for the Robot Masters are I think pretty consistent. I'm sure there's somebody that knows better than I. I'm not the best with the lore, at least some, especially once we get into the localization stuff.
Oh wow! I'm looking. I went to go look it up, and I have never seen centaur like written in katakana. Thank you, Royal Blue Wizard. Wow, that's such a interesting way to write that. I wonder if it's from the original Greek, maybe? That's so...
Well, but way beyond what I know, for sure. It's all right, Nope, we were not able to trigger the glitch where Plant Man doesn't know where we are and starts doing laps. But we're gonna do this quick then. And with that, that's the last robot in this, and we're on to the final stage of the game. Where we have a brief little stage, and then we have a 3-phase Wily fight. Time would be on the final hit of the 3rd phase. So we do one slide and then we walk off. Fun fact, if you slide off of this ledge here, you cannot fall into that little alcove there, and you can't fill up your tomahawk. Which is unfortunate because all 3 phases of the final Wily fight are weak to Tomahawk. So it's really in our best interest to have as much energy for it as we can. So we're just about finished with the last Mega Man game on the NES, and as I fight Dr. Wily's machine here, I want to say thank you for having me, and please donate. This is one of my favorite events to do every year, and any time that it happens, and really appreciate getting the opportunity to play another game in it, especially one that I love so much like Mega Man 6.
Oh, it's been delightful to have you.
Always happy to hang out and participate in Power Up with Pride. Like I said, one of my favorites, and time.
GG.
And we have defeated Dr. Wily, and we have saved the world again. And
didn't even turn into an alien this time.
Exactly. No, I think that's the next one actually. So thank you again for having me so much. I really appreciate it. I love this event. I really believe in it. I think it's a great thing. And thank you for letting me just talk about Mega Man for the last 39 minutes and 13 seconds, basically.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. And as Mega X381 said, please definitely do keep donating, keep just chilling here with us. We have more Mega Man next. We have Mega Man 2 for the Atari? ?
It's such a cool run. I can't wait to watch.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. But that is actually going to wrap it up for me for hosting for this afternoon. I'm going to be handing the mic over to the absolutely amazing Trainer Anade. They'll take good care of y'all. But do stick around, stay tuned. We have more Mega Man for you coming up next.